Hello. So I want to break down idea I kind of touched on in previous video, and this is the idea why you should never forgive anyone for anything ever. Um, why the whole concept of forgiveness is fucking retarded, and why I hate Christianity by extension of that, because the idea is built on forgiveness. What? So first, let me break down what is forgiveness. Is forgiveness? What does it mean to forgive someone? That, in simple words, means you had an exchange with someone and they wronged you, and you keep in your memory how they've wronged you, and you keep awareness of that. So, for example, someone stole $100. If you haven't forgiven, or they owe you $100, you haven't forgiven the debt. You keep in mind that they owe you $100, right? And a lot of the arguments people use for why you should forgive people is something along the lines of. Actually, I'm not even going to elaborate the argument. I'm going to explain where it comes from. It comes from uh, feminine thinking. It comes from wanting to resolve conflict, wanting to be comfortable, wanting to be accommodating towards people. Uh, Desire for social conformity, desire to resolve conflict, which is a very feminine idea. That is generally something. Um, it's like a diplomatic idea or whatever. You're trying to smooth things over. You don't really care about doing what's right by people. You just want to smooth over. It's like imagine you had a conflict with someone was fucking you with you the whole time, and you punch them, right? And then the teacher confronts you guys, and depending where you grew up, because in Russia I've had completely different experience, but if you're in Western world, generally what happens is the teacher just uh, handles it in a way that is completely unfair because all she cares about is resolving the conflict. And uh, to them, especially if they're a female, it's more likely to be so. Well, actually, it doesn't matter if they're a female or not. I would say a lot of even male teachers are feminine. Um, I don't know, for some reason that profession seems to attract those kinds of people. Um, Generally, they would just punish both of you, or they would just punish only you because you're the one that escalated it. It's like he might have been fucking with you for an hour or something, but then you just got up and punched him. It's like, well, you're the one in the wrong because you're the one that escalated the conflict. Just the fact that you were the one uncomfortable and suffering for an hour is completely irrelevant to that person, to the teacher. They just want to keep it below that escalation line. Like they would happily watch you getting fucking fucked with for an hour and do nothing about it. And the moment you try to put an end to it, they would stop that because you're escalating the conflict. Do you see how unfair that is from the side? Um, it's typical like toxic femininity traits, right? Generally, it's something that feminine people are more prone to, and it's one of the toxic sides of it. And it's and the where fuck, I don't really want to get into why I'm saying feminine, but basically it's a way of just feminine people don't like conflict and they just want to stop conflict, right? I'm not going to go any further than that. And so when they say forgive them, they're actually talking from that feminine position of trying to resolve conflict, this diplomacy approach. They're not trying to resolve things in a sense of making you happy, making everything be right by you. They just find whoever is most willing to negotiate and who is most willing to compromise, and then they just push on that person. For example, if you were to put your foot down and say, no, no matter what, I'm not giving my money, or I'm not forgiving this debt, guess what? This mediator is going to pressure not you because they see they can't have any influence on you. They'll pressure the other person. But if you show weakness and like, oh yeah, let me actually think about it, then they're gonna pressure you until you cave. You need to realize that they're completely aggressive towards you. They don't have your interests at heart. All they care about is self-protection. And uh, the way they achieve that is just by creating an environment with no conflict. So they're actually just trying to suppress conflict. They don't actually care about uh, making things right. And if you are naive, then you will let them do that, and then you're basically getting pointed from both sides. You're getting wronged by one person, and then the second person, the mediator, is coming and fucking you further, right? You're just getting double teamed, and it's very annoying to be in a situation like that. And they happen a lot in organic situations. It happens so fucking much. Um, I've had so many experiences at school that were like that. One of the craziest experiences I had at school was, fuck it, I'm not gonna explain. Whatever. You've probably had such experiences too, or not. Who knows? Uh, so basically, someone has wronged you, and they owe you, and the question becomes, why would someone want to forgive you? I've explained, or why do people push the idea that you should forgive? It's to resolve the conflict. But if you resolve the conflict at that point, who's paying it out of pocket? You. You are the one that is taking the loss for resolving that conflict. And the question is, why do you need to take the loss? Why don't they just fucking pay and that will resolve the conflict? So the whole uh, idea is forgiveness always implies uh, okay, let's say someone owes me $100 and I can't forgive this debt and they pay me $100. Do I need to forgive them? No, I don't need to forgive them because we're now even. He has compensated me, and now we're even. I have nothing to forgive. He has cleared his name. He has cleared his debt, right? He has resolved it. So assumption. When the word people use the word forgive, they always it's built on an assumption or an implication that it is resolved without uh, that it is quote unquote resolved without actually being resolved. As in, to forgive, you need to not have been compensated. It's not much of a forgiveness if they already compensated you, right? So forgiveness always comes at a cost to you if you're the one forgiving. Always. So when someone tells you forgive, it literally says take a loss on this, buddy. Take the L here. Coco, loser, easy to manipulate person. And do you understand how ridiculous that to ask that is? To forgive someone. That's completely unreasonable. That's completely an inadequate thing to ask someone. Only forgive people if they've cleared their name. If they've not if they've put like manipulated, sorry, my grandma died, which is why I raped your sister. Like what the fuck? I don't care that your grandma died. You still wronged me. You need to uh okay, I made a way too extreme of an example. That kind of thing might be in territory of unforgivable. Who knows, right? But okay, let's say my grandma died. I stole $100 from you. Okay, return me $100, and then we're fine. We're Gucci, or um, compensate me in some way until I am satisfied. Um, Forgiveness always implies that you just let the go and suppress your dissatisfaction without being satisfied. And that always hurts your sense of self. It's a way of saying, I'm so not dominant, I'm so weak, I'm so pathetic that I just get walked over and I suppress my own interests because I need to because I'm a slave. So, never forgive people ever because the whole concept of forgiveness is inadequate. It's inadequate towards you. You will no adequate person or no person that is adequate towards you will ever ask you to forgive. Ever. Okay, let's go from another reason. The kind of arguments that these fucking manipulators, these negotiators do. These feminine people that like to force this forgiveness. They use some arguments like, "Oh, if you don't forgive them, that's gonna burn your heart. That's going to drain you of energy." That it just doesn't work that way. It like that is just bullshit. That is just not accurate. That is the most manipulative, retarded thing ever. It's just objectively not true. Uh, by forgiving people, you're actually going to lose energy because what does forgiving someone mean? That means clearing the debt and being open to further engagement with that person. Why the fuck would you be open to engagement and forgive debts and continue trading with a person who has a track record of fucking you over? It's like you're playing Among Us. There's someone who's a fucking imposter, and they've just killed one of your friends, and you're like, I forgive you. Maybe you will rehabilitate. Why? Where is the logic in that? Why would you ever forgive? There's no arguments other than emotional ones that don't actually make any sense. So yeah, um, don't forgive people ever for anything. If they if they ask you for forgiveness, that is also inadequate. They shouldn't ask you for forgiveness. They should come and offer you something that you want of value and start making up for the debt that they have. Not asking you to forgive your debt. Do you understand how disrespectful that is towards you? Do you understand how ridiculously inadequate that is? I have just wronged you. I have just stolen $100, but please forgive me. In what world is that adequate? And I'm going to do it again, by the way. I'm asking you to forgive me so that I can do it again. So yeah, it's a rule that I follow. Never forgive anything for anyone. Only forgive people once they have restored the balance. Once they have earned, um, but it's not even really forgiveness. Like if they just they've even the scales. So I don't really even call that forgiveness. And that applies to everyone, by the way. That don't let anyone ever um ask you for forgiveness for anything. There, I just can't think of a single situation where that isn't fucking manipulative. It can be literally everyone. Literally anyone. I just can't think of a situation where it is adequate. Like, okay, let's try to look for one. Like, how could it possibly be adequate to be like, I fucked you over. I have no intention of correcting it. Please forgive me. Because asking for forgiveness implies that you have no intention of correcting it. Because if you were correcting it and you believed you could correct it, you wouldn't need to ask for forgiveness anyway. You would just earn your balance back. Let's say I wronged someone in some way, And just fucking give them their fucking money back. And then maybe I will say, I'm sorry for that. Uh, but even in the way I say it, I'm sorry for that. It's not necessarily that I'm asking for forgiveness. Saying that I'm sorry and saying please forgive me are not the same at all. They have completely different implications. In general, a rule of thumb, this is something I've been really paying attention to recently. Whenever someone tells you how you should react and they're not speaking from their own person, how they uh, generally um, how people formulate things makes a really big difference. If someone at all is trying to police how you should feel or how you should react to something like, oh, you shouldn't be so harsh on them, or you shouldn't be blah, blah. Instead of like, I think you're pretty harsh on that person, right? Do you see the difference between those two formulations? One is telling you what to do, and the other is sharing just his opinion. What I have found is most people are inadequate, completely inadequate. They tell you, you should do this, and it's like, who are you to tell me what I should or shouldn't do? Like, you're not in a position to tell me what to do. You're not my master. You're probably, like, you're not even intelligent. Like, what insight do you have? You should forgive him. Why the fuck? Who the fuck are you? Um, so whenever anyone comes to you and says that you should, and they argue it from a moral perspective, it's always a manipulation. Always. They are trying, they think that you're a fucking so worthless that you should be the one compromising. Because usually the context that they put it in is exactly the same as the fucking someone's been annoying you in school. You punch them. You should be the better man and apologize. What the fuck? This is just inadequate as fuck. I'll apologize if I feel like doing it. Like, get the fuck off me, you know? Get off my dick. Um, any form of telling someone that they should do someone is something is always a form of slavery. It's always a form of subservience. Because who they don't try to appeal to your desires, they try to appeal to your um necessity of something. And who does things out of necessity? The owner or the slaves? The owner does things because they want to, and the slaves do things because they have to, right? So whenever someone formulates something as you should, subconsciously what they're telling you is you're a fucking slave. You're a little fucking bitch loser. And we think that you're so low status that you should be the one taking the hit on this. And it's nothing about justice or correctness. This is a complete facade. It's never been about this. And if you ever want to play with these people or test this idea out, ask them the question, why should I and not should they? Ask them this question and see how they respond. And you will just see a million different manipulations. I've recently partaken in such discussions, such conversations, and holy fuck, it's like I broke the script on an NPC. I don't know, it was insane. Um, it was insane. I have no words. It was they literally went in circles repeating the same thing, and then my answer to that was always, yeah, but that's not a real reason. Give me a real reason. And then they just kept reaffirming the same thing over and over again, as if eventually, by them repeating the same thing, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, you got a point. I hadn't considered that. Like, they're basically, when someone tries to reaffirm the same point over and over again, in that way, um, And they're not presenting it from different angles, they're just presenting it from the same angle over and over again. It means that they're trying to brute force you to cave. They're basically trying to socially intimidate you into conceding, uh, which only works on low status fucking slaves, losers. And unfortunately, a lot of us are raised to be in a society where we, for some reason, allow this shit to happen. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know if this was like a new thing or um it was always like this. Like imagine you were to do that in medieval times. Oh, you should apologize. It's like I imagine that some guy would be like, "Oh yeah, duel me." Like answer for your words, fucking bitch. Okay, I think I've explained the idea strong enough. There is no obligation for you to uh, resolve conflict unless you like they should find ways to incentivize to make you want to do that. You have no obligation to do that. You have no moral obligation to forgive people. Anyone who tries to convince you otherwise is manipulating you because they want you to. Or they want to use you. Um, Nietzsche kind of nailed this idea perfectly. If you want to read more about this, go watch some YouTube videos about the master and slave morality. Nietzsche really, really hammered this perfectly. Um, okay, idea explained. Goodbye. Ciao, ciao. You should like and subscribe.